It's no secret. It's plain to see. And I love you. And you love me. And it's no secret. You know it's true. You love me. And I love you. The only time we seem to meet is in the middle of the night. Only then can I feel your heartbeat. Till something's not right. Together I see you and me, always and all time. But not everyone would agree. To them it's a crime. It's no secret.
Oh, looks like I've been speaking to myself all this time. I've been muted. So this goes to show you how versed I am here with Fireside. But let's see. One second, Chris. Let me do my rundown here, and I'll invite you up. I'm talking about the new Chemist album that was just released today called Deceiver. And it's interesting how there have been some people that haven't given this kind of a fair shake because the band has mixed in a bunch of different elements like thrash metal and death metal. And, you may like that, you may not like that, but at least the band is trying to progress and do something different. So, I thought that the album was good. I've listened to it a few times. I mean, I've been a fan of theirs. Other albums that have been released today: the new Exodus, Persona Non Grata, the new album by The Darkness, Motorheart, Me and That Man, New Man, New Song, Same Shit Volume 2. That's Nurgle from Behemoth's side project. You have Converge and Chelsea Wolfe released something today. Obscura, Temperance, Varsity, Aphonamer. I'm interviewing a member of that band on Wednesday, so I'll ask them how to pronounce it. Web, W-E-B, all periods. Apostle of Solitude, Nightland, Eldritch, Carl Sentence, who's the singer of Nazareth. He's released his new solo album, Electric Eye, today. Theater of Death Vampires, Knit Live, Godless, Vaulted, Disaster, Adam Driver, Confusion Master, Volumes, Strangulordius. Okay, awesome. Solar Cross, I think I named Godless Art. Yep, have them on the list twice. Eye Flies, Severius, Bloodsport, Confusion Master, which I think I named. Yep, another one that I have on here twice. Vault is on here as well for a second time. Several of these need to be changed. And Swallow the Sun. As far as EPs are concerned, Eagles of Death Metal released a Christmas EP. Eagles of Death Metal presents a Boots Electric Christmas. Big Wreck and Lars Fredrickson of Rancid has released a new EP. Reissues, you have Kiss 45th Anniversary Super Destroyer Edition, which if you're subscribed to my Victor M. Ruiz podcast, I give you my opinion on that there. Opeth, 2 Lizzie Borden albums, Blackmore's Night, Christian Death. Live albums, Blu-ray DVD, 2 from Sabaton and 1 from Copeland King, Cosma Below. And let's see, we have Paula on Facebook. Hello, Paula. Hope you're doing well today. Hope we keep things more civil tonight than Brazil-Argentina from the other day. In compilations, Guano Apes released a best of on vinyl, and their various artists released the Return of California Takeover. So those are today's new releases. Has anyone checked any of these albums out, or is there any interest in doing so? Let's see. Let's check out what's over on Blabbermouth. Brett Michaels donates use of his private plane so Ole Miss quarterback Matt Oral's parents can attend games. Sammy Hagar to perform at halftime during Raiders versus Bengals game in Las Vegas. Marilyn Manson sells Hollywood Hills home for $1.8 million. Guess after all the publicity he's received lately and people camping out, it's time for him to split. Kid Rock rants against snowflakes and offended millennials in new single Don't Tell Me How to Live. This is essentially a remake of a Monster Truck song. Exodus drops lyric video for new song Prescribing Horror. NHC featuring Taylor Hawkins of the Foo Fighters, Dave Navarro of Jane's Addiction, and Chris Chaney, who's of Jane's Addiction as well, but a bunch of other people also, including Ace Frehley, if I'm not mistaken. Devil That You Know music video released. Let's see, former Iced Earth members Matt Barlow and Freddie Vidales released new Ashes of Aries music video, By My Blade. Cannibal Corpse vocalist George Corpse Grinder Fisher announced his debut solo album. Biohazard's Billy Graziati, I guess how you pronounce it, to release new Billy Bio album, Leaders and Liars. Rammstein guitarist Emigrate Project releases music video for I'm Still Alive. Best song off of that album. I really enjoyed the album, but I don't think it's as good as the last two albums. Last two albums were great. They made my year-end list easily. This one kind of feels like they were leftover songs, to be honest, but what do I know? Marillion to release new album an hour before it's dark in March. In Flames singer Andres Reedon launches new project, If Anything Suspicious. Iron Maiden's Bruce Dickinson talks Trooper the Collection 2. Actually saw somebody who drank all the beer and was selling the actual cabinet that it comes in. Robert Plant and Alison Krauss announced first tour in 12 years. I get that because of Robert Plant, they're posting this, but for all intents and purposes, this is a country project. Crash Diet returns with new single, No Man's Land. Toto drummer Jeff Porcaro publishing catalog, Master Realities, acquired by Primary Wave for $30 million. Former Bullet for My Valentine members Jason J. James and Michael Moose Thomas reunite in Kill the Lights. Black Sabbath's Tony Iommi meets his 469 million-year-old fossil. So, they named a mineral after Tony, so I guess that's what they're referring to. Corey Taylor announces intimate evening with fans in Columbus, Ohio. Watch Disturbed's David Draymond and Nita Strauss performed Dead Inside live for the first time. Ted Nugent says Kyle Rittenhouse is a great American who did everything right. Okay. David Draymond says Disturbed won't put out traditional full-length album, 2 separate releases planned. Now this is smart. I've been saying this for the longest time. Bands like this who aren't going to be playing a ton of new songs, why go through the trouble of recording 10, 12, 14 songs if you're going to play maybe 2 to 3 new songs? So just record an EP. They're going to do 2 EPs, and then depending on the tour, they play one song and maybe the other song. Sounds cool to me. David Coverdale would welcome Whitesnake introduction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with open arms. All right, let's be honest here. I'm not a Whitesnake. I like some of the John Sykes era stuff, and I have a Whitesnake playlist with some of the hits, but I've never really been a fan. I like Coverdale stuff and Deep Purple a lot more. With all of this said, he's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with Deep Purple. I don't think Whitesnake is getting into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. If they do, kudos to him. But given all of the bands like Maiden and Priest and Motorhead and stuff like that haven't made it in, does Whitesnake deserve a slot in there before any of those bands? I think not. Okay, Skid Roast. Yeah! Got this new band called Skid Roast. They make chicken on the side of the stage. Skid Row replaces Queensryche as support act for Scorpions on Sin City Nights, Las Vegas residency. What does former Iron Maiden singer Blaze Bayley think of Senjutsu? He responds, okay, because that matters for some reason. Watch multi-cam video of Phil Anselmo performing Pantera classics in Dallas. Dream Theater's James Labrie says he has no relationship with Mike Portnoy. He was trying to fire the guy from the band before he ultimately left or was fired or whatever. So what do you guys expect? Come on. Jonathan Davis was totally wiped out by his COVID-19 battle. Korn lead singer, of course. It only makes sense. Robert Plant and Alison Krauss share cover of Brenda Burns' Somebody Was Watching Over Me. Under Oath frontman Spencer Chamberlain launches Slow Tide Project. Legendary rock photographer Ross Halfon featured in Gibson TV's Through the Lenses. Arch Enemy's making of music video for the new single Deceiver Deceiver. Here's the thing with not being able to play music. The beginning of that song sounds almost identical to Shock by Fear Factory. I mentioned this to Dino of Fear Factory, and he wrote something like, "Oh boy, here we go." And a bunch of people liked what I said and retweeted it. And it was one of these things where it's kind of obvious. Maybe he doesn't see it because he's looking at it from a different standpoint, but maybe his ears are too fried. Who knows? Cynic premieres new song in a multiverse where atoms sing. Quiet Riot's longtime bassist Chuck Wright releases video for his cover of Bjork's Army of Me. Animals as Leaders announced new album, Parisia. Drops music video for the Problem of Other Mind single. Silverstein releases new single, It's Over. Alice in Chains' Jerry Cantrell announces live global streaming event. Foo Fighters shares video for Love Dies Young, starring Ted Lasso's Jason Sudeikis. Pearl Jam's Eddie Vedder unveils new solo single, The Haves. Announces release date for Earthling album. Three Tremors featuring Tim Ripper Owens, Sean Peck, and Harry Conklin War of Nations music video released. Trailer for the Pam and Tommy series released. George Lynch announces more appearances with Dokken in December. Joan Jett Funko Pop figure coming in 2022. Interestingly enough, the Funko Pop sites are all going nuts with that. So, kind of cool. Led Zeppelin, every album, every song, book out now. Saint Asonia featuring Spain guitarist and Three Doors Down singer covers The Weeknd's Blinding Lights available. Rob Halford says he also received bullet containing Lemmy's ashes. Charlie Benante cried at Genesis concert. Seeing Phil Collins sitting was hard for me to watch. Behemoth's Negro gets booster shot. Blast COVIDiots. Skid Row partners with Dead Sled Coffee for Slave to the Grind blend. How witty of them to come up with that name. Slave to the Grind. Has nothing to do with their second album, right? So okay. Here we go. Okay. Mr. Brad Dahl, I see that you're in the chat. I know that you changed to your lovely picture there. I hope you're doing well. If by any chance Sheila or Shelly, Jesus, Sheila, what an idiot. I'm reading and I'm talking at the same time. If I apologize, Brad, if you would like to come up and speak, I would be more than happy to welcome you up. Angel, thank you for jumping on into the room here. It was a lovely November 19th evening. Actually sunny in my part of the world and not raining like crazy. Mr. Dahl, how are you? Are you muted? Yes, you are muted. There's a mic button at the bottom, close to where it says react. You have to hit that so that you can speak. I still can't hear you, sir. Uh-oh. Got the poop emoji going here. Let's see. If you see the list of everyone at the bottom there's a circle with 2 lines. Then I have a microphone in the middle, like right above where the connector goes. And then there's a button that says react where you selected that emoji. There should be a mic next to that. If you click on that, it should allow you to speak. See if there's anything that I could do on my end. I can remove you. I can make you the host. I can make you producer. I can invite you to interview mode, which would turn your camera on. I can kick you from the show. I can unfollow, or I can book guests. Well, we'll keep going here, and if you're able to make it happen. Oh, I think you unmuted for a second. Let's see. Try now.
How about now?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Yeah, it's funny how last week when I couldn't see what the hell I was doing and I was on the run, I somehow magically made it work. But this week with glasses and sitting still, I couldn't figure out how to unmute. So here we go. How you doing, Victor?
I am doing well. I just want to ask you, with regards to your picture, why the long face?
Yeah, well, that's my, that's a long story. I had to pick something that came up quickly.
Well,
but hey, I do have a Sheila story.
Oh boy, Jesus Christ, man!
Yeah, there was this. There was this. There was this goofy ass dude who was a pharmacy student, and I don't think I'm revealing anything here. It doesn't matter anyway, right? Anyway, he was kind of a interesting young man. Graduated somehow. And years later, I was at this continuing education meeting, and I'm sitting there trying to stay awake, and I'm looking around the room, checking people out, and I see this kind of June Cleaver looking woman who's got like the big dress on and the pearls and, like the old hairdo and everything. And I'm kind of going, what the hell is this all about? I look a little bit closer and I notice an Adam's apple. Intriguing. Okay. Well, turns out it was this guy who now is a woman, and I'm not, not that there's anything wrong with that. But the interesting thing was that he changed his name to Sheila. So, which I think that's appropriate in Australia.
Oh. There you go.
Yeah. So that's my Sheila.
There's your Sheila story. There is a story that you were going to share with us, which you totally forgot to share last week or 2 weeks ago. You'd promised the Steve Vai story.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Steve Vai. Interestingly enough, I'm buddies with Mike Keneally, Brian Beller, and Mike Keneally was in Steve Vai's band at the time. It was the Fire Garden tour. And Steve wanted Mike's band to do the warm-up. So so they were playing in Vegas at the joint there at what was the Hard Rock? It's Virgin now or something like that. So they're like, dude, come down. I'm like, heck yeah, I'm coming down. So came down. The cool thing was I got an artist backstage pass, which was all access, which was
Mhm.
very cool. I've got that. I would show that to people, but I've got that hidden somewhere. I had a lot of people after the show wanted to pay me big money for it, and I was a dumbass and I didn't sell it. I should have. But anyway, the cool thing was just full access. I mean, to everything going on, which did not
Right.
include full access to Steve Vai.
Okay.
Steve kind of doesn't hang with everybody. Doesn't hang with the band. Which, by the way, his band, everybody was super cool. Everybody was. The facility was super cool. I got to eat with the band and everything. Food was great. But the coolest thing was when Mike, when his band was on stage. They're like, well, I brought a fancy camera with me. They said, dude, you should get up there and take pictures. So I'm like running around on stage, photographing them. And it was, as a young man, that was quite a cool experience for me. That was back in, I think,
Right.
95 or something like that. So and I never did get to meet Steve Vai. I think I did kind of have the opportunity. It's like, well, hey, we can take you to meet him, kind of a thing. And I was like, you know what? I'm no, yeah, yeah. It's interesting when the band sound checked. When his band sound checked, he wasn't there, and then everybody had to leave, and then Steve came and sound checked by himself. And I was kind of hiding up in the upper the balcony area, and I had my video camera. And some guys
Right.
saw me with it, and they came running up there and go, "You can't be here! You can't be here!" It's like, "Oh, I'm not shooting video. Don't worry." But it was very interesting watching him sound check by himself. And by all accounts, he's a super nice guy. Didn't Like I said, I didn't get to meet him though. But that's my Steve Vai story.
Was there anyone else there when you were videotaping? Anyone else that noticed, outside of the person that came up and told you to stop?
No, no. That's why I went up in the balcony, because I figured nobody would see me up there, and I was kind of hiding out, but somebody did, and somebody kind of freaked out and told me I had to get rid of the camera. And I'm like, all right, relax, everybody. Here's the other part two of the amazing story is that in the Mike Keneally dressing room, they had this huge tub filled with at least 30 beers on ice. Of course, I don't drink. But I watched Brian and the drummer Toss Panos. I watched those two guys pretty much drink every single one of those beers. It was real impressive.
Wow.
Yeah, that was after they played, though. So it was fun, though. It was cool. I've had some cool times hanging out with, going out on tour with Mike, and just doing a few, like a run of like 4 or 5 days with him, kind of being a pretend roadie.
Mhm.
And yeah, it was kind of cool. Got to meet some really cool people, and of course, got to dig some really cool music. And yeah, great bunch of guys. If anybody wants to listen to some really cool music, that's not like normal, Mike
Mhm.
Keneally should seek that stuff out. The old Beer for Dolphins stuff is just fantastic. So there you go.
Awesome. Do you approve of this week's acts?
This what the who you're talking with after this?
No, axe as in guitar.
Oh, well, let me see. Let me make you a little bit bigger here. Here we go. I don't see a guitar. All I see is cases back there. Where's the guitar?
Over my other shoulder, there's a guitar.
There is. Oh yeah. Well, it's got stuff hiding it on my screen. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What is that? That's a what? That's what is that? Is that a Jackson or a Charvel or what is that?
The Kramer.
Kramer. Ooh, with the maple
Black
fingerboard.
and yeah, with black and yellow stripes.
Yeah, the maple fingerboard is the only thing I'm missing from my arsenal, and I have two basses on order right now, and of course neither of them have maple fingerboards. But you will be one of the first people to see them when I get them, sometime in
Cool.
December. Yeah, very
Oh
cool
wow.
stuff. Yeah.
But in this case, who played a Kramer with a maple fingerboard and had a striped guitar? Who made that famous?
Well, I'm going to go with Eddie Van Halen. Not the
This
right answer.
No, that is correct. This
Oh,
is
good.
a replica of the guitar that he used, or the guitar that appeared on the back cover of
Oh
Van
yeah,
Halen 2, which he ultimately donated to bury with Dimebag Darrell. So.
very cool. I feel like a jerk. I was a jerk when I was a teenager. I was a bit of a snob, and when Van Halen was playing all the clubs and the parties and stuff, because they were getting so much buzz and everybody just thought they were the best. Of course, I had to not like them, and I really
Right.
missed out. I missed out on some great opportunities to go see those guys back then, which I think would have been incredibly cool. I did get to see them on their very first tour, warming up for Black Sabbath, though.
Ah, okay.
So that's a whole nother story. I don't know that you got time for that, but I think that might have been the only show where Black Sabbath did not play Paranoid.
Huh, no kidding.
hmm Yeah, it was
What
pretty
they do? Run out of time?
No. Here's what happened. Okay, here's the cool thing. A little backstory. When they were playing in L.A., they were playing at the Anaheim Stadium, and I'm like, I'm not going to go pay all that money to go see Black Sabbath play a short set. I want to see the headlining set, and because I
Right.
think Boston was headlining over Black Sabbath in
Wow.
1978. Is that? I mean, I get it from record sales maybe and all that kind of stuff, but in our world, that just made no sense at all. So I went to Bakersfield, which is about 2 hours north of Los Angeles. It's
Right.
kind of a small, dirty town, and saw that they were playing there. And I bought tickets. They're general admission in this kind of arena there. And I took my brother, CEO Dave. So we piled in the car, we drove up there and got there, and there was this huge line. And I was like, what is this line for? Are these people here buying tickets or what? So I said, let's go to the front, see what the heck's going on. So it was actually the line to get in. So apparently, which I hate this at shows where, it's supposed to be doors at this time, but yet they don't open till like 2 hours later kind of a thing. And then everybody just
Right.
lines up. They're just waiting and waiting. It sucks. So anyway, I get to the front of the line and it was the line to get in. Right when we got to the front of the line, they opened the doors and then everybody just rushed. So we piled right in there. We went right to the front of the stage. So we were poised right there, what ended up to be right in front of where Ozzy was standing, which was stage left if you're on stage. So, because Ozzy didn't stand in the middle back then. I think there was a bit of a issue with that later. But yeah, Tony got middle stage and Ozzy was off to the side. So we were right there. I mean, like you could reach up and touch Ozzy's mic stand. This is back in the days before they had barricades and all that crap. You were right at the, yeah. And so when Sabbath came on, they were great, by the way. Everybody that says, "Oh, Van Halen blew him off the stage" and all that kind of stuff. Okay, Van Halen was very, very good. Okay, I'm going to give him that. There was way too much network time killing, though, because they only had the one album. And so they Dave Lee Roth spent a lot of time talking in between songs. They did a thing where everybody in the band played during Alex's drum solo. They played on the drums. And that was actually kind of cool, but it went on just way too long for a warm-up act, just like, but they were really good. The best part of it was watching Eddie Van Halen because he was over on our side of the stage, and I was like, "This dude is incredible." He was just everything is advertised, amazing. But anyway, back to Sabbath. So it got down to the end of the set where they're going to go back and then come back for an encore. The guy next to me, he reached up and he grabbed the mic stand and he pulled it down into the audience. And he grabbed the mic, and it was a hot mic. So he's on there yelling, "We got this concert!" And all of a sudden I'm like, okay, here come all these bouncers and roadies and stuff, and I'm like, okay, we're all pointing at this guy. Don't be punching us, man. And he immediately he saw this coming. He immediately dropped the mic and ran, and he was gone. He was out into the crowd. So they never did get him, I don't think. But this chick next to me, she undid the mic from the mic cable from it. She stuffed the mic down her pants. And so they were like, well, the mic's gone. What are we going to do? And you would think, well, just bring out another mic. No, they stopped it. That was it. That was the end of the show. No encore for you people. So no Paranoid. I don't know if I'd love to chat with somebody in Sabbath and find out if that's the only time in a normal show they didn't play Paranoid.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, great show though. They were just great. Oh, and the other great thing was Ozzy standing like right on top of us, and he had this huge booger hanging out of his nose. And so we're yelling at him, Ozzy, pick it, and we're pointing to his nose, and so he went over to Tony, and Tony, like, what are these guys yelling at me for? And then Tony started laughing, and it was the big Ozzy booger incident. So yeah, it was a great concert in Bakersfield. Who knew?
The home of Korn, actually. That's where they're originally from.
That's right. I always thought that Korn should have toured back in the day with Hole warming up.
There you go.
I know. Why don't people consult me on these things?
We have Jeremy on Twitch saying that he's been listening and just realized that he wasn't logged in. Says that Brad sounds so clear, like he's in my room. Wow. That's super clear. Are you secretly in Manchester, Brad?
Jeremy, don't look behind your sofa. Yeah, I wish. I wish. As a matter of fact, I'm looking right now at making travel plans to come to England sometime this summer, but I'm kind of nervous about it. I don't know.
Is there a big poison control convention in England?
Oh hell no! This is actually cruise money I got to burn, and so there's a cruise around Great Britain and UK, the whole thing, and so I'm looking at that. There's also one here in October that hits the north of Spain, but I think Bilbao is as close as it comes to you, which I don't know how far away that is from you, but it's probably not an easy drive.
That's 40 minutes from where I am, sir.
Oh, that's not that bad. That's like me going to work. Yeah, but it's in October, and your weather reports for October there aren't real promising.
Okay, so October here, and I will say this: the summers can be dicey because, for example, last year it got cold in October, and it was cold until the beginning of June, and it kept raining until the end of August. The best time of the year here is September and the first 2 weeks of October. It's better than the summer because it's almost guaranteed nice weather.
Okay, I've
been here like 17 years, and September and October, and sometimes it extends beyond October, but you're guaranteed up until around the 15th to the 20th. There's usually nice weather, and then it may start to rain, and then it won't stop raining until the summer. Or we've had years where it's been an extended summer all the way to February. So,
all right. Well, I'm going to put that back on the possibility scale then. So who knows? Maybe we'll be like almost nearby sometime in October.
Wow. Well,
that would be.
If you're able to make that work, you need to let me know because we would definitely have to meet up.
Heck yeah, man! Of course, I'd let you know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, so there you go.
Jeremy's saying that if you are going around the UK, I guess get off the ship at Liverpool.
Yes.
The closest port to him.
Yeah, I'm looking at one that does that stops in Liverpool as well. So yeah. I got to look at the dates, and I'll consult with Jeremy as far as weather at that time.
Cool. Yeah, he's saying it was 15 degrees today, which is like in
60.
the 50s.
Yeah. That's not bad. That's better than here.
Yeah, it was actually unseasonably nice today. Our weather is very similar to what it's like in the UK. We often joke around and say, when people ask, well, what's to the north of where you are? Well, you swim a little and you get to the UK.
Yeah. I was going to go to Las Vegas tonight to see Last in Line.
Right.
But that ain't happening. I didn't realize and that I was on call for work, so I can't leave.
Uh-huh.
And I tried to get people to cover for me, but everybody, for whatever reason, has something they really want to do tonight. Like,
Well,
and then
you could have gone to last in line and asked them for my $100 back.
ooh, yeah, I am. Yeah. I've chatted with Andrew Freeman a couple of times, so I'm sure he doesn't hold the purse strings there. But um, anyway, I was
Yeah.
hoping. I thought, man, a night in Vegas would be kind of cool, but that ain't happening.
Yeah. Well, next time.
Yep. Yeah, those guys will never
Awesome.
play here.
What, Erda, or you mean Salt Lake?
Well, I would host them here at Erda if they want to come up here, but yeah, Salt Lake. Yeah, I can't see a venue here ponying up enough dough for them.
Well, Vegas has enough LA transplants that would probably work. That's probably why they're playing there.
Well, it's kind of actually their home situation. I mean, Andrew lives there. The rest
true.
of the rest of the guys are quite fluid through the Vegas scene as well. I know Phil's in LA, but he spends a fair amount of time in Vegas.
Right.
So there you go.
That's awesome. In any event, I'm going to be wrapping up here. We do have the interview with Bluetooth, yes, with Wolftooth at the top. I'm messing names up left and right, so I hope that your wife wasn't listening when I said Sheila instead of Shelly.
No, she'd be okay with that. Tell us about Wolftooth. Get us all excited for this interview, or Wolfbang.
Okay, so they're a band out of Indiana. They have a real new wave of British heavy metal sound and feel to them. They're one of these bands that's doing, this retro sound that we're putting out new music, but it sounds like a throwback to the early 80s heavy metal of what was coming out of the UK, basically. And lyric themes are all about fantasy and things of that nature. So, not out of the realm of things that people that listen to Maiden or listen to Dio or even Sabbath would dig. I mean, I would honestly say that all of those are probably influences one way or another with that band. So
since they're not listening to this, should I buy their albums? I mean, tell me what's going on here.
I listened to the promo quite a bit yesterday to get a feel for the questions I was going to ask. And I like it. I mean, they're not reinventing the wheel, but I say this all the time. As long as something entertains you, as long as you like it, it doesn't have to be new, earth-shattering, groundbreaking. When you go order a pizza, it doesn't have to knock your socks off every single time. As long as it tastes good and you're not hungry afterwards, that's all that matters. You don't need to be building a new pyramid or a new sphinx, I think, again, it's something that when I interviewed the Swedish band Manimal a few weeks ago, the singer said, people harp on us because they say that we're not original. I said, well, who exactly is?
Yeah, no kidding.
I get it. They sound like Priest. They sound like Queensryche. They sound like a mix of different things. And, all right, so those are their influences. As long as it sounds cool, every band is influenced by somebody. Even the Beatles were influenced by Chuck Berry and Little Richard and stuff like that. And they were influenced by, blues and other things and jazz and, ragtime music. So everything is influenced by something else. So there's nothing new under the sun.
Except for Yngwie Malmsteen. He claims that he doesn't listen to other music, so.
Sure. Yeah, that's why he dresses like a combination between Hendrix and Ritchie Blackmore, right?
Yeah, that's the other thing. I was just reading an article with an interview with him, which was actually a really good interview with Rock Candy magazine, and he claims he doesn't pay attention to fashion and all this kind of stuff. Anyway, but as CEO Dave could tell you, because CEO Dave used to be buddies with Ingve. I think
Oh,
there's a
wow.
picture of him on Yard Metal Facebook page. Yeah, he used to hang out at Ingve's all the time in the mid '80s, which is just mind blowing. But that's we need to get CEO Dave on here to tell some of his stories. He's got some
Absolutely.
legit crazy ass stories. He actually got the guy that I was playing with in the band, the guitar player. He got him in an audition in Ozzy's original band.
Oh,
They
wow.
Dave was like his agent representing him, took him in there, and did the anyway. The story is just awesome. It's a great story. So he needs to somehow get involved here and tell some of these stories.
The door is always open for CEO Dave to come in and share any of his great stories.
Yeah, it's just getting him, plugged in. That's the tough part. He's not real tech savvy. He knows a lot about balls though.
Well, he does sell them for a living, doesn't he?
That's correct. He makes them little tiny balls. Hey,
See that?
yeah, this is cool. I'll let you go get ready for your show, but man, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Brad, for hopping up on stage with us here. Thanks everyone who is here listening. Woody has been here from the beginning. Angel jumped in a little while ago. Jen jumped in a few minutes ago. I want to say hello to everyone. Thanks for hopping on in here. We are pulling the show to a close now. If you are interested in checking out my interview at the top of the hour with Wolf Tooth, you can go to MarsAttacksRadio.com to find all the platforms where the interview will be streaming, both in video and audio format. And join us in the chat there. Drop questions in. It is a troll-free atmosphere like Fireside, and you can kick back and listen to Chris Sullivan from Wolftooth. And if
I'm
not, we'll be
excited.
back here next Friday at the same time, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, and 10 p.m. in the UK. Also, just a reminder that Trivia Tuesday happens on Twitch. Same time, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. We had a really close trivia game this past week. It was awesome. It came down to the last question. So it was a lot of fun. So if you want to get involved in that, the winner of each week's trivia game is getting discounts, a $5 discount to my merch store. So there you go. In any event, guys, thank you for watching live, or if you're seeing a replay of this, thank you for deciding to spend some time here and listen to me and Brad talk, listen to some hard rock and metal news, and listen to me talk about new releases. Thanks, guys. Have a